Привет всем! Наконец-то с вами я, Джейни, и это How Janie Learned Russian. Ой, сколько зим, сколько лет. Long time no see. I know all of you were very worried about me. Куда же ты пропала, Janie? Куда ты пропала? Where did you go, Janie? I hope you're okay. How come you haven't been posting any more videos? I promise I have good excuses. Not that I need an excuse, but I promise I have good excuses. And I promise you're going to benefit from this break I took to get some fresh air and some fresh perspective on where I want to go next with my teaching. So in today's video, I'll let you know kind of what I've been up to and about this big breakthrough I've had when it comes to language learning and language teaching and how I can better serve my students. So as you know, when we left off last, I had just released my textbook about making Russian cases slightly less scary, and it has been awesome. I'm really, really proud of what I've done, and I really think it's a really fun, great textbooks. I've had great reviews and great sales over on Patreon. That's available on Patreon. I'll put the link in the description. And I had always talked about making an accompanying course to go with it. Well, I'm going to be kind of doing a different format with that accompanying course, and that's what I've been working on this past year. So I'll give you a little bit more detail about that in my next video. And then, of course, I promise the best excuse of all, as you all remember, I am a mother of 4 children, 2 stepsons as well. And I am in a very difficult stage of life, which many of you can relate to. Not only do I have aging parents, but I also have multiple teenagers and a toddler. Okay, my toddler is finally in preschool, so that helps, but she has become increasingly difficult to deal with and to get childcare for because she only ever wants mommy. And we are doing potty training, and it's been a whole ordeal. And then meanwhile, I have these teenagers who have like preferences and social lives and extracurricular activities that I have to keep up with. And then in addition to that, I don't know if anybody who knows me well knows I am always complaining about the fact that I'm in my car all day, every day. And sure enough, I'm not crazy for being miserable because Washington, D.C. just overtook Los Angeles as having the worst traffic in the United States. And my kids go to 3 different schools on the other side of town by where their dad lives. And then my preschool, after I take those 3, I have to go back the other direction to where my 4-year-old goes to preschool. So that is my life. And those are my excuses. And in my opinion, they're pretty freaking good excuses. But also, my excuse is I've really been doing some soul searching on language learning, especially in like who is my audience, right? And I kind of get the impression that my audience is very much adult learners. As you can see, like me, we have a lot going on in our lives, and learning Russian is not the most pressing matter in our brains. And I learned this the hard way recently. My 13-year-old, all of her friends are Ethiopian. So here in Washington, D.C., we have the largest Ethiopian diaspora in the world. And so all of her friends are Ethiopian, and then just to be fun and just because she loves languages, she's starting to learn Amharic. And I'm like, oh, I love Ethiopians. I love Ethiopian food. I've always wanted to learn Amharic. It's a Semitic language, and I already know some Arabic and Hebrew. And so bless my heart, I started to get an app and trying to learn Amharic alongside my 13-year-old daughter. And y'all, brain elasticity is a thing. I do not have what I used to have when it comes to language learning. My gosh, she could learn something like that, and I would need just like not even quadruple, like 10 times the amount of practice and repetition to even remember, like even retain what she could retain after just running through it twice. And then heaven forbid something stressful happens in my life. It's gone. It is like 100%, like no recall of it if something deters me from my studies in some way. So it got me really thinking of like, geez, what does an adult learner? Because most of my students they're older like me, and they're learning Russian because, well, as you can see over here, it's really good for brain health. It helps stave off dementia. Not to mention it's like life-changing. I think it's magical to learn a foreign language, but it takes a lot of work as you get older and a lot of time. And like I said, usually a foreign language that is not relevant in your everyday life is way down the list of priorities. So I've really been thinking about like, geez, how can we make it more relevant? And in a busy working adult's life, what can we do to make the language like to fool our brains into thinking, oh, this is really important. I better hold on to this, right? Kind of like we do our social security numbers and our kids' dentist appointments. What do we need to do to make our brain decide that Russian verb conjugations are important? So this new format that I'm going to be using this fall in my classes that I will be teaching is going to be with the assumption that y'all are busy adults like me. And you really have multiple human beings you're trying to keep alive. So, or pets as well. So, and look at this chart, look how fascinating this is. So I thought this was interesting that like retaining vocabulary is going to start declining up here. I'm kind of up there. But look at this. And this is where I am carving out my niche, is look at what we're good at over here as you get older. Staying focused. And that is so true. My daughter, she has like a 2-minute attention span. She has a TikTok sized attention span for learning language. And I love getting on that app, the Amharic app, and just, and I could just work on it forever and ever. And she gets bored. Granted, she learns things a lot faster, but I am an adult and I'm not afraid to sit down with a pen and paper and do a lesson. And so this is the approach that I'm taking this fall. Also this fall, I'm incorporating 2 magical new things. Well, it's not magical, but one magical new thing, and one thing I have always been preaching from my soapbox forever and ever. And those will be incorporated into my course that accompanies my textbook, as well as the classes I'll be teaching this fall. So I don't know if you guys have all discovered ChatGPT yet. And in fact, I thought about doing a video about like, you don't need me anymore. We have ChatGPT, do svidaniya, всё, because ChatGPT is really, really incredible for certain aspects of learning a language. So I have found some flaws and some holes in it. And what's interesting about it is you have to know enough to know what ChatGPT doesn't know. So I have found all sorts of errors in different things that my students have been doing with it. So I think that'll improve in a year because it's supposed to get smarter over time. But you can do some really, really fun, magical stuff with ChatGPT. And I'll teach you more about that in a lot of the videos I'll be doing this fall. So here's an example of something I did when I was trying to learn Amharic. Was I come over here to ChatGPT and I say, what are the 5 most popular songs in Amharic? So as you guys know, I am a big, passionate believer and lover of music because music sticks in our brain, right? Just random facts, like just random words do not stick in our brain. Now you put those words to music and give them a rhythm and a catchy melody, and they're going to stick in your brain. And sometimes they stick in your brain annoyingly, and you want them to not stick in your brain. So I very much am going to be incorporating music. And sure enough, I came over here. ChatGPT came up with a system of the 5 most popular songs. And what's really cool with ChatGPT is you can say, how did you come to this conclusion? And then it like shows you. It's really, really cool. So I did the same thing in Russian. And if any of you have purchased my textbook, at the end of the textbook is 5 songs I want you to know как свои 5 пальцев, like the back of your hand, like your 5 fingers, by the end of the course, because those will get stuck in your head. And then what I'm going to do over the course of the course is come through and show you like, oh, look, you've been singing that song. You were singing genitive plural all along and you didn't realize it. So I've done a lot of my live videos where this exact concept, and I'm just a really passionate believer. And I think music is even more relevant for the adult learner because we spend so much time in our car. We spend so much time just kind of cleaning our house, walking the dog, doing things on our to-do list that are really our only hope is to put something in our ears. The only available resource in those moments is our ears. Okay, fill them with Russian. So we're going to put music in your ears and we're going to create a small playlist. This is the other thing I realized with my less elastic brain is you cannot overwhelm me. Please do not overwhelm me with too much information. Give me a small, manageable amount of information. So for example, 5 songs, and then I'm just going to listen to these ad nauseum, again and again and again. And I've been doing the same thing with some really fun stuff on ChatGPT, where I have ChatGPT create a dialogue that quizzes me on some vocab words that I've been trying to learn. And then I turn it into an audio recording that I'm then listening to when I'm out for a walk, or I'm listening to when I'm exercising, things like that. So I'm going to teach you how to do that in my course this fall. Anyway, so I'm very passionate about that. And in the next video, I have really exciting news. Don't you worry, I will still be here, but I'm gonna be back and better than ever in that I'm gonna be true to what I'm really passionate about. And y'all, YouTube content and views and entertainment, that's not it. I'm passionate about teaching. And this fall, I really want to share it with, I want to get that passion out to as many people as possible with the limited time that I do have. So come back for the next video to find out what exactly 2 very new exciting things that are coming this fall. Хорошо, это все на сегодня. Пока-пока.